All right, I hope to God this thing is working. I think I checked the microphone. We've got decent lighting. It's gonna be beautiful out today, but the sun just isn't cooperating right now. And I am back to hang out with all of you. Now, if I'm planning this right, this is gonna be just a little chit chat, get ready with me, kind of going over life, over this channel and its future, going over the way I've been wearing makeup, and I'm really gonna be using a lot of my favorites from this past year. If I have done what I'm planning on doing, that video sharing all of the favorites will already be up. So this is just getting to see those things in use and more of just like a chit chat. So I wanted to have something that's like all of the deets front and center for those of you that don't love all the chit chat, and then this is just more of a hangout. So if you did decide to come hang out with me, you are a real one, love ya, and just know that I am giving you the thumbs up, which I would also appreciate if you do for me as well. Now, if by some chance this is your first video here with me and we haven't met before, hi, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist, and here on my channel I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos, because I'm hoping there will be some sometime soon. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive on in. Like I said, I'm just gonna be doing a little quick get ready with me today. Well, I doubt it's gonna be quick because it's probably gonna be chatty, but the makeup is probably gonna be pretty quick. Should I tie my hair back? Meh, I think we can just like kind of do it behind the ears. Let me tell you, for this video, I was like, Kelly, you should probably come on like sort of looking like a hair and makeup artist, but y'all, my plans for today are to go to the dog park, to have a little like FaceTime chat with a friend, so we don't need anything too try hard. And I'm just here to say that that's sort of been the vibe. That's been the vibe for the second part of 25. That's close to rhyming, but not quite. So I'm gonna just show you what I've been doing. Okay, now I do have a little bit of moisturizer on from, I don't know, like an hour ago. Most days I find that in the morning I wash my face, I put on all my actives, my serums, whatever, and then when I come in here, I usually end up cocktailing my moisturizer with a little something something. I actually could use just a little extra moisture, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I was gonna start ranting about this, but I am gonna talk about this more in my favorites video. So if you want to know more about all of these products, you can go ahead and check out that video, but I'm going to go through and I'm actually going to, I think I'm going to cocktail. I want a little bit of warmth. So I'm going to go through with the DIBS Beauty Lovebeam Perfector. This is in the shade number 3 Love Triangle. I do also have number 2 Loves Me, Loves Me Not. I was actually kind of worried when I picked this one up that it was going to be too like cool toned. But it's not. It's actually really nice, but this one does add a little warmth. And I'm going to go through and I'm just going to mix that in with some of the Tinted Hydrator from Wet n Wild. I have the shade Light Medium, and I'm going to mix into that just to sheer it out a little bit of this. The, is it Foie? From my French, I would say Foie, but if it's Foile, it's the Daily Jelly Moisturizer. I got this in my Lucky bag last year. Pretty sure it was Lucky bag. By the way, in case y'all are wondering, this is the first year in a long time that I have not picked up a Lucky bag. I just have enough, and the last few Lucky bags I've gotten, the last 2 I would say were pretty good, but I found I like went through and I was like, you know what, I'm not even using most of the stuff that I got in my last Lucky bag. This, not, obviously I'm almost out of that. I have been using that one. I'm just mixing this on my hand, by the way. Usually I do use my little Danessa Myricks palette, but I need to wash that, guys. So I'm just kind of like making a little mixture here, and I'll apply it with the spatula and then go through and we'll just pop this on. But yeah, Lucky bag didn't do it. I just felt like, Kelly, for the money, you can just go at this point. First of all, I really do not need any makeup. I need no makeup for a very long time. We'll be talking about that a little bit, but if there is something that I want, I could just buy it, you know? So I decided not to do that. It did also come out like right after, obviously, the holidays, and I definitely bought myself some nice things over the holiday sales. Not really a lot of makeup, actually. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I think I only picked up 2 makeup items. I'll talk about those I could be wrong, but I really think I only got 2 makeup items. And so, you know, I was like, I just really don't need anything. I spent a lot of money on things like some jewelry, a lot of fragrance. You guys know it's been a year of fragrance for me. And so I just didn't find it necessary. So let me know if you ended up picking one up. I'm trying to decide, do I want to watch the videos of people who have gotten them? Or do I want to like avoid any FOMO? But I'll probably end up watching just out of curiosity. So I'm just very easy peasy like putting this on. I tell you what, for the price, that Wet n Wild is so nice. The one thing is, you know, usually with skin tints, tinted moisturizers, you're limited in your shade options, especially from drugstore brands. I find that that is one of the big differences, is just the shade options. Like in my favorites, I had a couple other complexion options that have a much more varied skin tone, but you know, what do you expect for like, I think it's $6.99, around $7 on the Ulta site, which is just bananas. Okay, so we just got a little glow, a little coverage going. I'm really enjoying that. And I think before I conceal, I'm gonna go ahead and throw on some eyeshadow. So I'm just going to go through with a very effervescent shade from Divina. I'm probably going to go through and use a little concealer on my top lids though first, just to get a little bit of brightness going on. It's chaos up in here right now, by the way, because I've got all of these things out to talk about and possibly use today. And so I feel like it's just sort of like landmines up in here, or like dominoes and landmines, both. I'm gonna take a little bit of the This Covers Everything concealer from Doll 10. This I really like because it is, I mean, it is very high coverage. So I'm just gonna pop a little bit on my upper eyelid. You guys know, like, if I'm not really one to use primer all that often. A little bit of concealer especially if I'm wearing like a really sheer eyeshadow, and I'm good to go. So I think that I think October was the last time that I did any long form content here on my channel. And, you know, it's just like any of those things where if you get out of it, I mean, usually the fall and the holiday season is just complete chaos for me. You know, as a hair and makeup artist, it gets crazy. It gets crazy, and there was just so much going on, and between me not really having a lot of time, and honestly, I'm sure you've seen from all of the creators out there that there has been a huge shift in the beauty content world. And I think a lot of us are just out here feeling like we're shouting into the ether. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hello, is anybody out there? And I was really starting to feel that way. I had a few videos that did not really get any views. By the way, this is not going to be one of those like, wow, feel bad for me kind of videos. It's not that. It's just sort of explaining. And it's like, okay, I gave up time out of my life to create this. I enjoy doing it, but if I want something that I enjoy doing, but I also want it to be something that's helpful, useful, entertaining, one of the above, at least, preferably more than that. But if I'm not feeling that, then I just feel like it's not really, you know, like worth the time. And because views have been down, and I think everybody just has a lot going on, and if you're like me, you're like, I'm actually feeling pretty good about my makeup amounts right now. So thanks, but I don't really need a lot. And so, yeah, I mean, I just found that there were just, the viewership was down so far, and it's like, if I'm gonna spend, let's say I spend an hour and a half filming and an hour editing, it's just like, then that's like on the low side, right? Like, there are times that you spend a lot more, especially in like the prep for a video, and, you know, like trying to link things and all of that. And so it can just feel like a lot of time out of life for not a lot of kickback. And while I never really considered this like a career thing, it is nice to be getting some profit from it. And if you're not getting viewership and people aren't shopping through links, it's kind of like, okay, do I want to keep doing this? Especially when it's like, I was honestly, to get 2 videos up a week, I was at least dedicating 1 day to filming. I mean, you know, pretty much, and when I say 1 day, I mean like 1 work day to filming and doing some editing. And then oftentimes, you know, while I had clients at work who were processing, like their colors were processing or something, I'd be trying to get some editing done as well. So a lot of time. And then if it's like, I would be lucky to be getting 200 views on something. It's like, is this worth it? And I will say, I feel like platforms and brands are making it harder to get affiliate commissions. And if you are someone who doesn't want to use, you know, affiliate codes or affiliate links, like that is totally your choice. But I do think that there are creators out there who are honest in their content, and, you know, that's a way for them to be still like making this worth their time. You know, I do also think that there's a lot of inauthentic, really cringy content out there, but you know, if it's something that you enjoy, sort of like wanting to see movies but not wanting to pay for it, you know, it's like, well, there has to be some profit somewhere. And I just find that it's just been that much harder, whether it's brands making their own sale coupon codes all the time so that you so that creator codes are never used, or platforms like Ulta doing a lot of in-app sales, because then affiliate links don't work if you're only using the app, as far as I know. I feel like that's the way. And there are just a lot of times where it's like, oh, no, your code isn't linked to the affiliate program. They have to use a link, and a lot of times people don't use the links, but maybe they'll use your code. It's just gotten so crazy, and I just feel like it's been a lot harder to really gain any sort of income for the time that we put in, and that gets really frustrating. By the way, I'm just using one of my well-used shades from this year. This is Davina's Sour Spanks. I'm going to share a few other single shadows that I used a lot this year. I personally did pull out more of my single shadows in the second part of this year. Like, I think I was using palettes for a while, but I really started pulling out more single shadows just to get like really light looks. And this is one, like, I've got a good dip in that pan now, and there are a couple others, especially from Davina. I just love the brand, and I'm very familiar with all of my Davina shadows. So it's like, I'm like, oh, I kind of want, you know, this. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know I have a shade like that from Davina, but just very high quality still. Love them, very fun. Okay, do I want to add any mattes? No, you know what? I think I'm just gonna stick with this right now. We'll see if we change our mind. There really wasn't any profitability in what I was doing and the time that I was spending, and it's like, this is just a hobby, but it is nice when it's a hobby that I do at least make enough money to keep the lights on, so to speak, as far as the channel goes. You know, like, I have always said I would never buy something just to review it, because I think that's sort of dumb. But I am at the point right now where it's like, I don't want to do a lot of purchasing, especially if I'm not making any money from this for, you know, like beauty purchases. I'm going through with the RMS Revitalize Hydra Concealer. And this is definitely one that I've really been enjoying for under eyes, and, you know, just a little bit of brightening. I like the shade because it's one of the olive tones, so it works really well. I don't know. By the way, I feel like I'm bouncing all over the place here, but we're going to be talking a little bit of makeup and a little bit of life. So yeah, I just feel like as far as profitability goes, it's been much harder out here to try to, you know, try to get anything from the time spent. And also, I just feel like I'm having a hard time finding the content that I want to still do, that I still really enjoy doing, that people want to see. You know, because people will say, oh, I want to see, you know, whatever it might be. I don't need to be told to buy new makeup. I want just, you know, some fun use it content, but those videos oftentimes don't get seen. What usually is eye-catching is something that is maybe a little clickbaity, a little bit dramatic, a little bit either, oh, this was life-changing, or I hated this, or like some sort of drama in it, which is not my vibe. I mean, I will have things that maybe end up being life-changing, but it has to have some sort of clickbaity title or thumbnail. Or it has to be short form content that is like everything in this world right now. Maybe it's just my millennial self, but everything is so overstimulating to me. Like, I don't have TikTok. I did set up an account at one point in time many moons ago. I do not have, like, the app is off my phone. Like, I am on Instagram, but like TikTok especially is where it's like 3 seconds worth. And if you haven't just like completely grabbed someone in that amount of time, they're going to keep scrolling. And so everything is like, and it's too much. I can't with that. And so I don't want to watch that content. I don't want to create that content. Like, you all know, I am definitely a little bit more long-winded. And while I think it can be okay to try to make it more brief, like I think we could all use a little bit of that in life. That very overly high energy, inauthentic, I don't know. It's not for me. And I know that that's really what is popular out there right now. So I just have had a really hard time with that. I don't mind creating short form content, but it's not going to be that vibe. Like, I can't. So I've really had a hard time trying to figure out what content will do well. And you guys know, I've been into fragrance a lot, especially in this last couple years. And that seems to have been a sphere that has gotten more popular, but it's been very hard to break into. I love talking about it. And so if I continue with this channel, I'm still going to have some fragrance content sprinkled in here and there. Because it is truly something that I enjoy, and it's a big part of what I love talking about. So it'll be here. So speaking of like content and videos, I was just sharing that like I still want to do fragrance content, but if I am able to only right now get one video a week up, then maybe that's like one fragrance video a month. I don't know. I'm trying to vibe it out. And I know that I mentioned in one of my last videos, talking about sharing a little bit of lifestyle or just life content in general. I don't know that I'd ever see myself being like a vlogger, like a big time, vlogger type, sharing all the things. I wouldn't have a problem with it, but honestly, I just don't feel like most of the time there's anything that is worthy of sharing. But if there was, I would have no problem doing that. But definitely sharing some lifestyle wellness things. I'm not quite sure. I'm just not quite sure. Like I want to have some well-rounded things because, I've definitely been trying to be a little bit more well-rounded in life. So that would be authentic to me. But in a situation where right now I could see at most being able to get one video up a week, it's trying to find that balance of different types of, things that I'm sharing. And, people will say, oh, like, we want to see tutorials and things like that. Those don't get watched. They don't get watched. Like, and, I've had a couple of videos out there just informational of my experience as a makeup artist and just my experience as someone who, is definitely like seeing my own face and skin change over time and things that I've shared. And I love sharing that and talking about those things, but the time that I put into those and collecting that information in a hopefully helpful way and the views that it's been getting, it just hasn't been a lot. So I also think that part of it is when you don't get at least a couple of videos out there, the algorithm just does not care about you anymore. Like, you have to be pumping out content pretty consistently, in my opinion. Unless you already have a viewership that's pretty high, that's different. If you've built up that following, then I think you still get pushed out there somewhat. But that's just something that I have found. Like, when I was doing 3 videos a week, I feel like my videos were getting shared more. I mean, for a while there when I was only doing one a week, what was it that popped up? And someone was like, oh, it's so good to see you doing a video and or something. And I was like, I didn't go anywhere. I've still been doing videos. Like, so that was also just a little dejecting. It's like, even my own subscribers aren't even seeing my videos. Like, I was like, whatever. So I don't know. It's just been a little dejecting, to say the least. And yes, also still have the Invisalign. We're not talking about it. Let's not talk about it. Maybe that's for another day. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but I just used powder products on my face and no creams. That's the way we're rolling today. Yes, I've still been using all my creams, but I really have been loving the What's Up Beauty Chicatera collection. So I just wanted to use that solely today because we're going for like the glow, but like not a try hard glow, and something that, I don't know, up until this winter, I have actually really been enjoying a more soft matte look. Let me know where you've been. Are you still team glow, team juicy skin? Now going into the winter, I feel like I need to look a little more juicy, but I was just really loving just that blurred, soft focus look of a semi-matte, but still got some glow kind of to it. That was the vibe for sure. Okay. Speaking of soft, I've also really been enjoying just a very soft brow. Like many days, it's been either powder or just like a little tinted brow gel. If I'm feeling it, or if I don't know, if I feel like I just need a little extra shape, I've maybe been going through with a brow pen. There's this one hair that keeps jabbing me in the eye and it's making me mad. Okay. I just have found that like a really soft brow has been it for me. Just like a little bit of framing, but nothing too much. So I know it's been a while since we've all chatted. I mean, a couple months now probably. And I just found once I sort of got off of the hamster wheel of creating videos that I was just enjoying spending that time elsewhere, and it was really hard to dive back into taking a day. Like today, you know, I'm going to be filming these 2 videos. It's going to take up probably half my day, and that doesn't include me sitting down and doing all the things. It's just like the filming time alone. And, you know, you all know that I've really been enjoying getting into watercolor painting and just more of my own art. And I have been trying to really get out into nature and, you know, take Jet for walks and things. And I truly do believe, like, if you decide to be a pet owner, you really have to, you know, give them the time that they need. And he is a dog that needs a lot of activity. He needs a lot of socialization. And so it's like, I want to make sure that he is still getting that. By the way, if you hear clip clopping around, I just left the door to this room open so he can kind of come and go. And it's just, you know, I would wake up and there would maybe be something that I'd want to share. And it's like, but I just really don't want to take that time today. And it's like, that 100 views that I'm going to get on that video, is that worth me taking time out of my day that I can't get some healthy meals cooked, that I can't go for a walk with my dog, that I can't do some art study, like that I can't also do things for my own business, like where I do pay my bills from, you know? So it's been really hard trying to figure out, is this fulfilling enough, and or am I losing money and time from doing this while also not having it be purposeful out there? You know, like, I don't mind dedicating the time if it's really helping people, if people are enjoying it, but I just don't even feel like people are seeing it, you know? So what a time to have the camera go off. But anyway, so I don't even feel like people were seeing it. So I don't know. If it's fulfilling to me and people are enjoying it, it's not as big of a deal if there isn't the profit coming from it. But I feel like 2 of those 3 things need to be happening at all times for it just to really be worth it. Okay, before we get going to mascara, I do think I want to have a little bit more contour in my crease. So I'm going to take, this is one of the 2 things that I actually bought on Black Friday. I bought more of these, and by more I mean 1 shade of the mixed media liquid eyeshadows from Gensee, the matte ones. I really do like this for like a quick and easy See, told you. It's like dominoes up in here. I really do like these for like a quick and easy matte eyeshadow. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop a little bit on a fluffy eyeshadow brush. This is the shade Melon. I think it'll go well with the blush that I used. And we're just going to pop this in the crease. If we have to, we can put a little eyeshadow back over. I probably should have popped this on first and then put the sparkle over the top, but that's the thing that I actually really like about these is they're pretty fuss-free and easy to use. So this is just going to give us a little bit of shape and really tie in that blush color nicely. You're also getting the very casual Vans hoodie life. Like, I love this. I have had this shirt for so long. It's nice because it's lightweight, but still cozy. Sometimes I get like cozy vibes, but then I feel like I'm basically running around the house trying to get stuff done in a blanket. And I'm like, oh my God, I just can't. It's just like too much fabric. So this is a nice one. Oh yeah, see, that just, I feel like that just added a little bit. I'm just gonna run this underneath as well. So in retrospect, just kind of looking back on the second half of 2025, a lot of my life was quick, easy makeup like this, trying to honestly sort of like decompress and de-stress from just some life things. But I feel like, I will be honest, I feel like I was just like coasting. I feel like I was just coasting, like just trying to cope and coast, which, you know what? If that was where you were too, no shame in our survival game, right? I am gonna just throw a little bit of some all-nighter spray on because you gotta do what you gotta do to like keep yourself going. So if that was your vibe too, I hear you and I feel you. But going into this new year, I did feel like even in my business, while I don't feel like the quality of my work was down at all, I just feel like it was like I really want to invest more in my own growth of skill. I want to invest in, I want to sort of like refresh my space. I think I'm gonna like repaint my studio, add a little lighting, like do some things. I mean, I have owned my studio now for, this is 20, we're going into 26, so it'll be 16 years this fall, this coming fall. And so it is time to just like have a refresh, a reboot. And so I need to take the time to do those things. And I have less time if I am doing as much filming and editing and those things. So, you know, that's really where I've kind of been, is like something has to give, you know, and it's like we all only have so much time in our lives. And so it's like you've got the friends and family time, you have your own personal sanctuary time, and, you know, there are things like, aside from the social side of it, it's like, okay, well, the house cleaning, the grocery shopping, the meal prepping, and then there's like, oh, you know, like get some movement in. And I, you know, as a 44-year-old woman, I'm like, girl, you have got to get that weight training going. Like, pick up a weight. It's been a little while. And so that is kind of like the other thing on my goals for this year, is to really start doing more of that and more flexibility and movement. Like, I just want to be able to move in all the ways for a very long time. And I need to do things that are going to help me do that. And I have, you know, figured out some things in my own health journey and life as far as like what will be best for me, some things that I really need to focus on, you know, so it's like trying to do those things, and that takes time. And so, you know, I've been out here saying that I'm gonna do this, and when I start to look at content creation, it's like, where does that factor in? One video a week, can I do that? I could probably do one video a week, but it's in finding the content and making sure that it's seen that is sort of the kicker of it all. So I feel like And I know that they say, oh, long form content, like, you know, it's making a comeback. Like, you don't have to do short form. But I still see higher views on short form content than long form. And it's, I don't know, I feel like it's very hard in 1 minute to connect authentically with an audience and share something authentically. I don't know. I see some short form content that I really enjoy, but a lot of it is just like, oh my God, this is great. And then, you know, a lot of times it's people like, I mean, half the time it's people pretending to use something, or it's somebody just being dramatic and saying how much they hate something. So I don't necessarily plan on being either of those. And when we're talking about reviews, like, you guys, I don't see myself buying anything anytime soon. I've been lucky enough to still be getting some PR. I do know that I'm probably dangerously close to being taken off of a couple PR lists. You know, and if that happens, it's whatever. But like, I just don't need anything. And so if there isn't something that genuinely interests me and is that different out there, and I will be honest, y'all, like, if you think that there's something that's been revolutionary in this year, like, let me know, because maybe I missed out on it. Are there beautiful color stories? Are there things that it's like this DIBS beauty product for me was something that was very different than what I had. Does it mean that it's something different than what is out there? No, not necessarily, but like, I'm not that person that's going to be out there trying, like, having that video that's like, I tried 50 different tinted moisturizers and here's what I have to say. Like, I would never buy 50 tinted moisturizers. Like, I'm sorry, I love y'all, but like, it's so wasteful. Like, it's so wasteful. So I find the few things that I love. Occasionally one comes along and I'm like, wow, I love this more than the other thing. But like, I'm not going to buy 50 of something to try those things. So I just don't see a lot of like new beauty reviews coming because I don't see myself buying a lot of new beauty. On that note, one of the other things that I really want to do in my life this year is declutter. And I really plan to go through and do a massive, massive purge in this situation, in all of my makeup, all of that. Is that something that you guys want to see? Should I still do decluttering videos? Probably the next one to come will be an eyeshadow palette video, just because that's the easiest to kind of like pull out and just like get rid of. And I'm talking epic. Like, I also need to go through all my single shadows and probably pare some of those down. Less is more for me right now, and I am in such a state of like overwhelm that it's like, it's kind of one of those things that's like, if I haven't used it in the last year, it probably like just needs to go, unless there's some really good reason to, you know, keep it around. And it is definitely time to do a huge, massive declutter. So is that something that you guys still enjoy watching? Do you want to know my thoughts? Also, in that, do you like a style where you see the thought process going on? You know, like, I've done like overhead for a lot of my like creams and powders and things like that. I think for like eyeshadow palettes, I did it like all sitting on the floor. Or do you like it where it's like already been kind of done and then it's sort of going over those things? Like, that's obviously a shorter form version. Which do you find that you enjoy more? Because that's really what I want to do. Or like a little bit of both. I don't know how that would work, but so that's definitely something I'm doing either way, whether I film it or not. So, yeah, that's kind of it. So if I do keep this channel going, it will be at most a video a week. It might even be like 2 a month, and a little bit of a lot of things, I feel like. So if there's something in particular that you have always loved from this channel, let me know. I will try to make sure to throw those things in. And, you know, just let me know if if you feel like there's a gap in what you're seeing out there right now, or is there a reason why you haven't been watching a lot of content? Are you like me where you're like, I definitely don't need to be watching a lot of reviews because I don't plan on buying a lot. Is there something that you think would be helpful for you? Let me know all those things. Okay. I feel like this kind of went all sorts of different places, and it definitely was not as organized in my brain as I had wanted it to be. But what is going to be organized is me sharing all of my favorites. There are definitely more than what I used today. Of course, I can't use everything. So if you want sort of the highlights of my 2025 makeup finds and beauty finds, there is definitely more than makeup just in there. Go ahead and check out that video because that one will already be up. So again, thank you for hanging out with me today. I did just want to share like a little bit of life, a little bit of where I've been, a little bit of what might be happening. Honestly, I just want to find a way to be helpful, authentic, and, you know, make it worth both of our time, because I know that time is valuable in life. That is literally like the one commodity that you can't get back, right? All right. That's it, lovelies. This has been an interesting one. As usual, the thought process was kind of everywhere, but you guys know that that's what you're gonna get from me sometimes. So please share your thoughts with me down below in the comments. Let me know if you have goals for 26. I'm not doing the whole like New Year's resolution-y type things, but you know, I think this is a good time of year to like look back, look forward to where we wanna be, and see the steps that we have to do to get there. So come along on that ride with me, and I will see you really soon. Oh, hold on. I just realized as I went to make a thumbnail for this, I didn't have any lip on. Tell you what, that has definitely been a vibe of 2025 is like at best having hydration on. Cause like with the Invisalign, it's very high maintenance when it comes to the plastic of these things. And let me tell you all, it was like, I'm just trying to keep from getting chapped lips. But this does look cuter. Okay, that's it. I'll see y'all later.